Here's the situation of a client of mine facing false accusations of child abuse, and I can't tell you how common these things are. He's about to enter a court hearing in a couple of weeks, which is to determine whether or not a protective order will be sustained against him. About 2 weeks ago, he got served with a temporary protective order not to see his kids. He was blindsided by it. He didn't realize what this is, and if you don't know what that is and you've been served with it, you need to do your research. It is a big deal, a huge deal. So within all the shock of that, he gossiped with friends and family about what to do, looked for certain lawyers, and hunted around online. With only 2 weeks left to defend his temporary protective order hearing, he contacted me. Now, it turns out this woman has made false abuse claims before. A couple of years before she did it, and within that time she did it again. They never stuck. CPS, DCFS, they saw it as unfounded, but this time there's an investigation happening. This investigation is about him being violent and abusing the kids where nobody was a witness except the mother. This makes things really, really hard to disprove. In a panic, he reaches out to me. Now, in this panic, the father does not realize just how bad this is. He thinks it's bad, maybe it's bad, but kind of assumes that everything's just going to be all right because the courts are fair. And this is one of the greatest mistakes you can have. And to be honest, in this case, we ended up working with him, and I want to tell you the end of this story. But most people who come to me, they want to vet me, they want to talk to me. They're offended at the $150 price at the time that I'm making this video of what I'm offering to basically get this thing thrown out and help guide them through it and have an army of guys helping you do that who've done it before when lawyers are afraid to do it and have a bad track record of doing it. Then they're going to contact me after about 6 or 8 weeks and tell me that that protective order was granted, they can't see their kids, and they're desperate and willing to do anything, and they're thinking about offing themselves and all sorts of different things, and how can I help? So thankfully, this gentleman hired me at that 2-week time. He came on our calls. Our calls have legal assistants. Our calls have therapists. Our calls also have me and just 100 other guys helping you out with your case who've probably been in your shoes and beaten it. Some of them have done it pro se, some of them have done it with lawyers, but it's just one of the best support systems you can have. Now, this is going to be enormously stressful for this gentleman. This gentleman is having somebody who's making repeat false allegations. That means this woman is going to continue to make false allegations until she is stopped, until in some way there's a consequence for her with it. With gossip, friends and family making CPS or DCFS claims, there's no consequence for making false claims. Yes, it's illegal, it's in the books, it's never enforced, nobody cares. When it comes to domestic violence, same thing. You can make as many as you want in our current society and not have any consequences. So she's not going to stop until she is stopped. She's going to talk about it with friends and family. She's going to divide your family if they do have narcissistic personality disorder. I can guarantee you she is going to try and get your own family to get away from you and think you're a bad person. Every single friend. These are some of the trophies that she will have to prove that she's right to really do whatever she wants, whether it's to protect or defend her deceptive actions. She's basically going to try and say you are an evil person and convince everybody of it. You dying, you being killed, you being executed by the US government would not be a great enough crime in her idea of how to destroy you, all because of whatever personality disorder is going on, telling her that this is how she's going to prove to everybody that she's right. She was justified in her crappy actions. This then gets us to how should we stop it? How do you stop this? And I know you're looking for that as some sort of an easy answer, and I have to say all the stuff that I said before, mainly because I need you to understand how freaking serious this is. If it doesn't go well, you won't get to see your kids for a 1 or 2 year period. They'll be scared to see you when they see you again due to parental alienation. They're going to be lied to by every single family member that she convinces you're a horrible person. When they question about their dad, they're going to have the hard talk from an aunt who wants to get involved in something that she shouldn't be involved in and basically say, well, you know, your dad made some mistakes and I'm sorry. And because of that, you're going to have some problems with things, even though nothing happened. Your kid's chances for suicide, not just double, but quadruple. Personality disorders, them developing cutting, self-harm, an inability to have relationships, and basically all the different things that abused kids go through, whether they're physically, psychologically, or sexually abused, your child is more likely to have those traits. In fact, they will have some of those traits. If it goes criminal, which it very well could, you'll have to put on every single job application for the rest of your life, loan application, anything where you're involved, where people want to do a background check, renting a house, that you are a criminal of abusing a child. Anytime you cross a US border, you're going to be detained, no questions asked. You will be put in a room for a long time so that you freak out and they record you where you're yelling at the camera saying you need to go to the bathroom or whatever it is. This is going to be your regular life. In addition to that, you're totally disenfranchised. It's not uncommon for you to not be able to work, not be able to function in life. And then you can join the mountains of men who have formed the male victim mentality, basically saying the court system sucks. And it does suck, but they're not doing anything to solve it. You can jump into a group of people that are complaining about how bad they got screwed in life without seeking a solution, where the only answer is anger, rage, judgment, some form of terrorism, or dissent against the United States government or court system, whatever you want to call it. If you want examples of this, man, just go online and look. So if you want to prevent that life, if you want to prevent that, which you can, you can. Number one, get a lawyer if you can afford it. That lawyer is not just a family law attorney. It's not just a criminal attorney. It is an attorney that is used to defending and has defended before false allegations that have to do with CPS, DCFS, whatever it is. Whatever governmental group is involved, they need to have experience with arguing that case, because the laws are going to be completely different. The arguments, the filings, all these different things are going to be completely different, and you have to get every single one of those things right, or else it gets sustained and moves forward. Okay, if you can't afford an attorney, and who can? Every single guy in my group that got an attorney could not afford it, and he somehow figured out a way to pay for whatever he could to defend himself properly. You're going to have to learn every aspect of the law, and whether you can hire an attorney or not, you're going to have to do that. So you need to go to court to watch your judge who is ruling on this. You need to look at different protective order cases. You need to talk to fathers who have beat it. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's really rare to find fathers who have beat it, but if you want immediate access to that, you can find them in my group. You need to understand how evidence is filed, what evidence works. You need to understand the proper courtroom etiquette. You need to understand what the argument is, that the argument is truly, you did not do this. It's not just because you said it. You need to prove with evidence, with facts, not just opinions of people that could be witnesses, but you need to prove during that exact date and time you were not there, you could not have done it. You then need to understand that if you can't prove that, you need to then understand that if you can't prove that you absolutely didn't do it, which is most of the case in most of these different cases, because only the mother was the witness, that you need to make sure that the court does not err on the side of caution to prove that you are not somebody that could do this crime. This does not mean that you just bring in your mom and your aunt or family members. You bring in any sort of third party, coach, teacher, doctors that has been involved with your involvement with this child. So again, these aren't just character witnesses of, Steve is this great guy. It is the people that saw you interact with you and your child that do not have a dog in the fight, meaning they're not a family member of either side. And after those two things, then you can look at proving her is a liar, her having a personality disorder, any of these different things. Now, if you're doing this all yourself, it's really mind-numbing. If you're doing it with the best legal team in the world, it's really mind-numbing. This is why you need to start getting outside support. And I bring this up all the time. I'm not just telling you because I have a group. I built a group because I was coaching men for 18 years. And in that time, I saw this as a reoccurring problem. So I said, man, the best thing that we could do is build a group for guys who are going through this specific problem of false allegations. Let's fix it. So in order to fix that, you're going to have to understand that you're going to be stressed out. You're going to be pissed off. You're going to want to send bad text messages. You're going to want to talk trash. You're going to want to reply to the bad allegations that are happening to you all or of you on social media because your ex is going to do that. You're going to want to do stuff that is going to get your case screwed and screw you and screw your life and wreck your kid's life and psychology just because you can't check yourself. You need to be around guys who have beat it and understand the process. Next, you need to understand that you can't harass your attorney or legal team or judge. No judge, no attorney, her attorney, whatever it is, wants to be schooled and educated about the law, but you're going to not be able to keep your cool. If you do have an attorney, it's very easy to piss them off because you don't know how to talk to them, so you need to get that in check. You need to have people that can help you organize evidence, look through your case, and help you through the entire process. You need to have people that can talk to you about when you want to react impulsively and do whatever you want, which is just going to get you in trouble. And there's so much more to it than that, because when a guy goes through this, he's changed forever. Look, your life is not going to be the same. You can't just flip a couple switches, do some push-ups, and take a couple pills, and then this is all over and you go back to your normal life. Look, you're going to be changed forever. And you should be honored about that, because if you win, if you are able to protect this, you're going to understand a new dimension and a new dynamic to fatherhood. And this is why you need to be around other men. There's no way that you're not going to be affected by this in a permanent way. And you shouldn't be afraid of that. You shouldn't turn your back to that. And you should answer the call that's so many men answer to this to better themselves from it. And you need to be around a community that always shows that. And so as I'm telling you about this, I am urgently telling you that you have to get this thrown out. And if you don't, you're not just wrecking your own life. You're not just putting your own life at risk and threat. You are putting your child or children's life at risk and threat in ways that you cannot even comprehend. You are the father. You have to work. And if you want to do what's best for you and your child, to keep you and your child out of an impoverished mindset and an impoverished soul due to your narcissistic ex or soon-to-be ex, you need to take action right now. Because if that protective order hits and you message me 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months down the road, man, I can emotionally and mentally support you, but I can't help you unwind the past. Yes, my group has reversed and gotten protective orders thrown out, which is almost impossible, and no attorneys really ever can do this. It's very difficult to do, but man, I'm gonna tell you, you do not wanna be on that road. Take action now to get help. If you want help from me, check the links in my bio. And if you can do it yourself, man, God be with you. Because if you think you can do it yourself, man, I wouldn't want to carry that guilt for what the possibility of your future is.